Everybody, Sean Bukowski here. Hope you're all having a great week. Start to another great week. All right, this week, what are we talking about? Big news in eviction moratorium world. Finally, some decent news for landlords as the government has continued to put really the burden of evictions on landlords as opposed to spreading it out throughout the country. But so what happened? Last week, the Supreme Court ruled on the CDC Eviction Moratorium. So let's go back a little bit. If you recall, last year during the middle 2020-ish, the Trump administration had the CDC put basically a nationwide moratorium on evictions for non-payment of rent, and that was supposed to last through the end of the year, but basically the Biden administration kept having the CDC extend it until most recently. They changed it a little bit at the beginning of August, but for all practical purposes, it was extended again at the end of August, or at the beginning of August, I should say, when it expired, and it was supposed to be extended through, I believe, October 3rd. Finally, some landlords, I think out of Atlanta maybe, decided to challenge it. It got all the way to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court finally ruled on it last Thursday. Now, this was always on pretty shaky grounds. I think when Biden first extended it, he said, the legality is kind of questionable of it, but he's going to extend it anyway because he thought it was worth it. But that's not how we work here. That's in the United States. We're a land of laws. And so the Supreme Court eventually on Thursday overruled the CDC, said they weren't allowed to do this, and they didn't have the power to do this, that Congress hadn't given them the power to do something like this. And as a result, the nationwide eviction moratorium is no longer in effect for landlords. Now, what does that mean for Texas? Does that mean we can that landlords can start evicting people again? Maybe, maybe not. It really depends now, because this was just the nationwide eviction moratorium. That doesn't mean it was the local or the statewide one. So there still are some of those. Really, I think in Texas, for the most part, they've been most of the different counties have gotten, or cities have gotten rid of their local eviction moratoriums, except for the great state of Austin and Central Texas, city of Austin, I should say, Central Texas. Here in Austin and in Travis County, we still have eviction moratoriums. I'm not going to go over the details of that. You can read about that in a previous on our website. But basically, there is still an eviction moratorium, possibly in Austin and Central Texas. I say possibly because, if you recall, a couple weeks ago, the governor issued an edict that basically said any COVID-related injunctions or rules that are local ordinances that were set up by municipalities are no longer in effect. So what does that mean? So now we have this sort of competing thing. We have no nationwide eviction moratorium, but we have local ones from the city and the county. And then we have the governor saying, no, those are all gone. So where does that leave a landlord? Here's what I think. Is there still potentially a local ordinance against evictions? Yes. Should you challenge it? Yes. That's my opinion. And we can certainly help you at the Bukowski Law Firm. But these are ripe for it to be challenged at this point. And the governor has basically said that they're no longer in effect. So if you need some help, please give us a call, Bukowski Law Firm. Otherwise, thanks for listening. Sign up for our blog and subscribe to our YouTube page. Thanks a lot.